Here I'd like to share with you a document that I've created about the work-based project and what we're working towards. This document was really set up with the intention of sharing it with your senior leaders and your line managers, but I think it's really helpful for yourselves as well to understand what we're aiming towards. So you see here the briefing for the line managers and senior managers because it gives them an overview as to the role of the work-based project. Now, something that's key in terms of what this module really works towards is the fact that it's got two different roles. Firstly, it's the same as your other final year modules in terms of the weighting towards your degree. So it's got no extra time, although you have been given a bit of a preparation period in the run up to it, but it's also got no additional weighting, so it's worth 25% of the final year. However, it's got something quite special that makes it different to the rest of the modules, and that is, if we see down here, it builds up to something called the Endpoint Assessment. So the project that you're developing will be something that you'll be asked about in your Endpoint Assessment and you'll present about. So if we think about the timescales and what you're working towards, this session in July, I'm showing you and introducing the idea of the work-based project, and then you'll start it really in sort of December time. So in December time, we'll have a kick-off session where you start thinking about pitching your idea to the senior leaders. Now, by that point, you'll have already had your idea approved by your line manager. So it's really about just giving a little bit of visibility to the senior leaders so they can understand a bit more about the ideas that are being worked on. So this is really something to help you raise your own personal profile as a brand, if you like, to progress your career. Then, in terms of what's required for the actual business project, you'll have a project plan which is worth 20% of the module, and that will be submitted at the end of January. This is quite a small part of the assignment, and then you'll go on in earnest to work on your business project, and that will be submitted. That has two elements. You've got a 4,000 word, here we go, a 4,000 word business project and a 20-minute presentation. So they'll be submitted in March. So you'll do your presentation around the 22nd of March during that week, and then you'll submit your project at the end of the week too. Then, a couple of months after that, you'll have your endpoint assessment. And your endpoint assessment is when you'll discuss the impact of your project. So what this means is, although you'll be assessed in March for the business project, you can carry on collecting evidence about the impact of your project after March and before your endpoint assessment. This is really helpful because it gives you more to talk about in the presentation. Also, it means in terms of the duration of your project, you've got, if you like, three different stages. We've got the project planning stage, which is due for the end of January. We've got the initial findings, if you like, which are the full project in March, but then we've got this additional buffer period of a couple of months, which works towards the endpoint assessment, gives you more to talk about. So in that way, it's actually a longer module, if you like, but the final part of it, that bit where we're measuring impact, is really for the endpoint assessment. So we just need to make sure that it's manageable. It can either be a small problem that you're looking at and you're creating a solution for. So this might be something like a process that you're looking at, or it could be a stage of a project. So you might be looking at some initial ideas as to how to approach a bigger problem and then looking at the validity of those ideas and presenting them to the business. So we just need something that's not overwhelming in terms of size. Hopefully it's helpful to you in terms of raising your profile within the business and demonstrating your value as an employee, but also something that ideally that you're interested in order to progress your career and to end this degree on a high.